Hi there. In this session, we're going to look at 5 so-called bearish coins according to community sentiments on CoinMarketCap. Let's see whether they're really that bearish. We'll start off with BONK, but before that, if you're new to my sessions, these are the key items I cover during the session for all the 5 projects. These are not financial advice, they are for education and research purpose only, also for discussion with the asset tech community, including yourself. So let's start with the very first one, BONK. This is the weekly chart of BONK. The rainbow color are the key levels. Alright, what BONK has gone through was previously the panic over stage, okay, where people are no longer panic selling. And what we have seen last week may well be the automatic rally. The bulls set the trading range top of the accumulation cycle. Alright, so that's the backdrop. What comes after, usually during the accumulation cycle of Wyckoff, is that there will be a testing period, meaning after this, setting the trading range top roughly around the green key level of 130 with 4 leading zeros, okay? Then eventually it will do some sideways trading. Sometimes these tests can go deeper than where the selling climax was. So that means the SC, the selling climax, doesn't necessarily mean it's the bottom of the accumulation cycle. Right? There's another hint given by October 10th. Look at where it tested. It went all the way to the red key level of 40 with 5 leading zeros. Okay, so let's expect more to come for BONK. We've covered BONK and I think Casper as well earlier this week, so it hasn't changed much since then. If we go to the daily chart, is performing the way that we have described, after the bulls setting the automatic rally top, it's going to come down for, a series of tests. If you ask, the purpose is to check out paper hands, and until the point the diamond hands remains. All right, it's the purpose of the whales, so they can maximize their profit as well as making their maneuver, pushing the price up to the next distribution peak easier. Alright, that's BONK. Next we've got Casper. For Casper, it's a little bit deeper into the cycle, but not very far. It's just like 4 to 5 weeks after the automatic rally. It's still going through the testing phase, so I'm not going to repeat. What's similar over here is that the selling climax was a little bit higher than where October 10th set. Okay, October 10th set at around 941 with 2 leading zeros. The selling climax ended somewhere near the 3 cent level. Okay, so that's the big picture. And in terms of the daily, if we look at the chart here, previously we have this downtrend going on, and it indicated that with the near-term support somewhere before the January 14th, Casper has a chance to break outside of the downtrend, and indeed the bulls took the chance. They took the shot on the 4th. You see this white candlestick plus higher than average volume. Okay, but of course the bears aren't going to sit there and do nothing. When the price tried to go above the yellow key level of 5 cents, you see all these long wicks from the top. The bears start to hit, okay, and then now they're pushing the price back to below the yellow key level, but still above this near-term support of 4 cent 20. So the volume today is relatively low, including yesterday. It's the weekend, so I'll always give it the benefit of doubt. When we get to Monday, so when the weekdays are back, we'll see the true colors. Alright, that's for Casper. And now we've got PENGU. For PENGU, again, similar, but a little bit earlier. So it's just getting into the automatic rally stage where the bulls are trying to set the trading range top. Currently being suppressed around the light blue key level of 1 cent 30. It doesn't mean the automatic rally is done. Sometimes it may take a pause and then the bulls get the strength and push it just a little bit higher before the price returns to subsequent tests, where the whales try to check out the paper hands and keep only the diamond hands. Not that they want to keep the diamond hands, but the diamond hands aren't, going to sell, so there's nothing the whales can do. There are subsequent stages, but it's too early to tell because it's still at the early stage of accumulation for the case of PENGU. Looking at the daily chart, previously we shared that around the end of 2025 there's a chance for PENGU to break outside of the downtrend that started back in October. Alright, and the bulls, look at the volume over here, took the shot, and on the very first day of January they made it out just to get rejected around the light blue key level of 130 that we talked about. So what to expect is similar. Subsequent tests that you can consider range bound activity somewhere along the lines of the yellow key level of 0.0085 to the light blue key level of 0.0130. Okay, that's PENGU. The other two that are coming are very young. So when I talk about these young coins, I give a big caveat. Their price profile hasn't been set yet. They haven't seen the bigger cycles like those one in 2020-21, as well as the Ice Age period during 2002 to 2024. So we have no reference as to how far they can go either way. So whatever I put in here, like I said in the beginning, is for research and education purpose, and for these younger coins, they are subject to quite serious changes when the time comes if they reveal themselves. Alright, let's assume this is the picture for now for Wyckoff. It has gone through a bit of panic selling where whales silently got in, and the selling climax just came around Christmas. Okay, let's assume that it is what pump has gone through. The automatic rally we already discussed in the previous three, where the bulls are trying to set the trading range top. You can see the strength isn't particularly strong. Last week the volume was slightly higher than the previous month, but then today or this week, the bulls and the bears are fighting very hard along this price level of 0.0023. You see this very short candle body with wicks from both sides. Alright, so the same thing we are going to expect. More tests to come. Where the automatic rally top doesn't matter. The subsequent test is going to be a little bit crazy sometimes. The accumulation cycles themselves, if timing is right and capital comes in, people start to become risk on again, those cycles last very short, maybe ending within a month or two. But if people are still risk off, like the current situation where gold and silver are still where money goes to, it may take a little longer. Alright, let's go to the daily chart. Similar thing, somewhere around mid-December and eventually getting close to Christmas, there were two opportunities for a pump to get outside of the downtrend that started back in September last year. It took the chance around mid-December, just that it wasn't a really strong breakout. There was an occasion around the 19th, 20th that the trend almost got back into the downtrend, but then the bulls start to get in. You see, very interesting that the volume went way higher than the previous month, but then the price didn't really get too high. So there were quite still people selling while the whales silently got in. So if you say these are like whether they are really bullish, pump, I think some people already putting their flags, setting their flags over there, waiting for pump to pump. Okay, but be cautious. Like I said, even if it pumps, there are subsequent tests to come. So always, if you ride the tide, always push your stop loss and don't leave your order open, because when it comes back down, you're going to regret why you didn't take profit. All right. Last one, we'll get to ASTER. Again, very young coin. Here, assuming, again, very big assumptions here. Assuming what happened back in September last year, just a quarter ago, was the buying climax, where people FOMO during late September, and then subsequently the price came down, and eventually get to the point where we see potentially the panic over stage around Christmas. It's either panic over or people just leave this alone, enjoy their Christmas holidays. So there is a chance that we haven't seen the biggest drop yet. Okay, it may still be the transition period of the panic sell where whales got in period. The selling climax, the panic over stage, may not be the Christmas week. Just because we're going through that period where people usually, enjoy their time. So I'm giving it the benefit of doubt that it may have happened that always leave it open when we go through these kind of periods. So if it is really getting through that period and the bulls are setting the trading range top for the accumulation cycle somewhere between the orange key level of 71 cents to 92 cents, same thing we are going to expect, so I'm not going to repeat here. Let's go to the daily chart. So the downtrend previously started back in mid-November, and when we get down to near the end of the year, when the ceiling of the downtrend crosses December 28th, that was the opportunity for confirmation of trend change, and indeed it happened. All right, now it turns from a downtrend to a sideways trend. Okay, so that's the key thing or the key message we can get from these kind of trend versus key levels when they cross over. There are other individual sessions that I cover for some of the bigger projects. If you want to get access to those sessions 2 days earlier than the others, feel free to join the channel membership. And thanks for those that have already joined. Thanks for joining me in this session. See you in the next one. Have a great weekend.